Let's talk about setting boundaries. What does it look like to set boundaries within this context of the listeners having a hard time hearing the speaker?
And this is a sad thing, in my opinion,
Aw.
because it means the speaker has something special that they need the listener to hear, but the listener is not able to be a good listener. They have so much defensiveness, so much hurt, so little self-esteem perhaps, that all they can see is themselves, and they just find it difficult to see anybody else's heart and experience anything outside of who they are. And that's unfortunate. So there may be some people that they may bring up an issue and it's going to start a war because the other person doesn't appreciate that you would share anything uncomely about them. And when that happens, we may not. There may not always be the turning and listening to the listener, because the listener, when they become speaker, they may be verbally mean. And so that doesn't mean that if I share an issue that now I have to subject myself to being walked on.
Yeah.
That's where the boundaries come in.
Yeah. There could be a lot of defensiveness going on there.
So, basically you can say to the listener, you know what, I really want to hear what you have to say. But I did initiate this conversation. I did ask if I could share something with you, and I really hoped that you were going to hear me right now. And I can see that stirred an issue for you to also talk about. And I've asked, can we take turns? And I get the feeling that you don't want to take turns. That you want to be the speaker right now.
It could be a hot enough topic that may have brought it up and stirred up a lot of hurt feelings or animosity, and may need to come back and talk about this again later after some of those feelings have subsided.
And may need to rephrase it if it stirred
Yeah.
up a lot of negativity. May
Yeah.
have to try approaching from a different angle. So
And-
go ahead.
Well, you may have to call a timeout and come
Yeah.
back. A lot of times when we get on a topic that there's a lot of negative feelings, it may take 20 or 30 minutes for you to calm down out of that all that adrenaline rush that's going on, so you can think clearly to be able to talk about an issue.
If your heart rate and breathing rate have picked up, your body is involved. And in the brain, the processing isn't going through the reasoning and logic centers anymore. So there may be a time when, you bring up an issue, but that doesn't mean that you want to be a doormat, you want to be walked all over. If that's happening, it is appropriate to call the time out.
Yeah.
And to say, you know what, I don't think that you're prepared to hear what I needed to share right now. And I think I need a break. I think I'm just going to take a time out.
Sometimes one of the couple can feel so pushed to, I want to resolve this, I don't want to leave it, that they'll keep pushing even when the other one is saying, hey, I need to exit this. We need to be respectful of each other, and when one of you asks to exit the conversation, we respect that. We don't want to push either to sin.
That's right. And we do have a video on setting boundaries and how to enforce a boundary. Boundaries protect yourself from someone else who isn't being very considerate right now. And so we need to know how to do that.